Yeah, I couldn't find better debate opening music than that.
Why are we here? This is Words
Yeah,
About Books.
it's
I'm
words
Ben.
about books.
Squeaky
That's why
over
we're
there is
here.
Nate.
Yeah. Ben says as he
There's
beats his
book
mic.
related matters that need discussing.
Many people don't know this, is what I can only assume. We have a Patreon. I'm sure nobody knows that.
Are you going to tell them what benefits they would get?
Ben,
If they were to do that?
That sounds like a you job.
Oh, okay. Well, you would get access to polls where we decide what books we're going to read. Lately, I've even been using that to just sort of gauge interest in certain things. You get access to like special updates from us. You get access to the extended gag reel, which of late has been a little more extended than normal.
It's because it's all
You
gold,
also get
Ben.
access. Because it's all gold. You also get access to quarterly-ish bonus episodes that come out. They're quarterly, but they seem to come out like once every 6 months.
Hey, that's not true. I think it's probably been a quarter since the last one. Probably. Maybe a little over. But they'll come out. They're in the pipeline. So, Ben, you asked why we're here.
I did, yes.
So I had an either a really great idea or a really stupid idea, and we'll never do this again. So
Okay.
we have, like you said, monthly polls on Patreon, and most of the time we get just solid gold like Bridget Jones' Diary and Brave New World, just amazing stuff. But we have a month coming up. The November of our discontent, as you called it last year, when we were just miserable and just reading the worst stuff, the most misery-inducing junk.
Like the stuff was good, but it was it
Some
all
of
just
it.
had a generally
Some of
like
it.
okay,
I will
some of it was
say-
good, but all of it had like a generally depressing vibe.
Yeah, let me see here. I'm glad my mom died. Memories of My Melancholy Horrors. That was not good. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants and
was
Claimed
also you.
One.
The claimed one was fun.
Yeah, I would
For
agree.
me.
It was the perfect segue into December.
We're still workshopping the theme of November of our discontent. The general thinking here is there's like Ben's horror bullshit month where I do horror in October, and
It's
then
awful.
you
Yeah.
try to do your trash comedy books or video game books or whatever it is you read in December. Like you really take advantage of that because I
Try
just
to put
try to
happy
hibernate.
holiday stuff,
Yeah, garbage. And between that saccharine nonsense and my stimulating intellectual psychodramas, we have this like melancholy, depressing, like November itself. It's just gray. There's not enough snow on the ground for it to be white, but there's not enough grass left for it to be green. It's just
Do
depressing.
you not have trees where you live? It's like really
Don't have
colorful
leaves.
here. Oh my
They
god.
don't have leaves in November.
You live a little too far north. We still have leaves in November. Most of the time, anyway.
I can tell you they don't make it like the leaves turn. You got a solid like week to look at the leaves,
And then the New Yorkers
the
show
wind
up. I've
blows
seen
them.
Family Guy.
Check out those colors. Yellow like a taxi, orange like the ball at the Knicks game, and red like the sauce on my Mamma Mia's gugots.
No, the wind just blows them out of the water. Like we don't get hurricanes, but we do get all the wind from the hurricanes.
Oh.
So, yeah, we get wind and rain
unfortunate.
from hurricanes. I'm close enough to the coast for that.
That is unfortunate. That's why coasts are a big no-go, Ben.
Yeah. So
So-
you had an idea.
Yeah, why not make this weird little in-between month a battleground, Ben? So,
Okay.
we each bring a book, we each talk about it here, and, I don't know, shout at each other until our patrons vote for the good book, the Nate book. Vote for the Nate book. We have monthly polls, that go up on Patreon 2 months in advance to give us time to read the material. So we do the November voting this Sunday, basically.
Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say that. So we're going to do that. And if it's good, we'll do it every year. And if it sucks, we'll just pretend like this never happened. We'll never speak of it again. And we'll just deny that it ever happened if anyone ever asks us about it.
Can do. It'll
All
go to
right.
the same place the Bad Faith Criticism Corner went.
I forgot about that because it didn't happen, Ben. That was season 1 stuff. I don't even think we had a season 1. I'm pretty sure we just started at season 2. Don't go back to check.
Okay.
Now, I did have a few rules that you also agreed to. 1, the book that we bring in can't be from a series we already covered. That was more so it wasn't just going to turn out to be City of Bone versus Traveling Pants 2. Get a little creative with how we're going to torture each other. Number
Okay.
2, we're shooting for about 350 pages or less because we only want to do one episode on the story. And then number 3 is we each only get one book, so we have to make that count.
Okay.
All right. Anything else you want to add, Ben?
Like rules?
No, I mean just anything in general.
Oh, no.
All right. In that case, Ben, heads or tails?
Heads.
All right. It is heads. You want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Okay. All right.
So, I had many thoughts about what I might pick. Many different strategies I could employ, because really this is about winning over the patrons.
Oh,
And-
yes. One more thing I should mention. You should throw... I think you could do polls in Discord, right?
Oh, yeah, I can actually. Yeah, we can do
So
a
you
poll.
should throw a poll in Discord. We'll call that the popular vote, and that it doesn't matter because the Electoral College is the Patreon. But if there happens to be a tie on Patreon, then we could have the Discord be the tie-breaking
the
vote.
popular vote.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
There you go.
And if there's a popular vote winner, we'll factor that into like maybe it won't go this time, but maybe it'll go the next time. Maybe if there's a difference. I don't want to rob Al Gore. That's a reference a lot of young people are going to understand. I want to rob Al Gore. There's an alternate universe where Al Gore was president on 9/11.
Yeah. And he stopped those planes by using the
He
power of the
stopped.
internet that he
He grounded
invented.
all the planes because they polluted too much.
Anyway,
But this isn't. I was going to say this isn't the 9/11 of our discontent. This is the November of our discontent.
all right, Ben. So you got some strategies.
So I had
How
some
you want to
strategies.
make this count?
My first thought was I wanted to do Truth of the Divine by Lindsay Ellis, but your rules caught me
Yeah, got him.
because that's both a depressing book and I know you'd hate it because we already had previous evidence. And then I thought, well, maybe some of the patrons have expressed a little dissatisfaction at,
Uh-oh.
I'm going to be frank, your need to annoy me. And
What? Who would ever express dissatisfaction with that?
several people have. And then you conspired with my wife to vote in Bridget Jones's Diary, and I hope you were happy about that.
Number 1, I was, and number 2, I just convinced her it would be funny. She could have voted against it.
She could have. I mean, yeah, you didn't log into her computer, but you did tell her what to do.
That's what this episode is about, Ben. You're trying to convince people to vote for you, and I convinced your wife that it would be really funny if you had to read Bridget Jones' Diary. And it was. It was totally worth the pain, Ben.
So my second thought for November of our discontent was a book for the season. And I thought I might do another rare nonfiction pick.
Oh, dear.
And I was thinking about The Donner Party.
Oh, my God.
See, I'm
Okay.
glad you're laughing because I was concerned people wouldn't find that as funny as I do.
Dude, I have a
Like
I have a fucking card game called the Donner Dinner Party. All right,
That's
It's-
awesome.
Yeah, it's you gotta laugh about it. Except for them, they are probably were.
They just
horribly
never spoke about it
traumatized
again,
and-
yeah.
yeah. It just never happened.
Yeah. But I thought that would be a great Thanksgiving podcast.
Oh my
The
god.
Donner Party. Everybody's weight loss goals would be met that year. Or maybe not. Maybe you're freaks. I don't know. But there was a Donner Party book I've been looking to read. And I thought, like, oh, that'd be really good. That'd be really good. It's like 750 pages, though.
Oh, damn it.
So unlike you, I'm not ready to shoot myself in the foot just to get one in. So I had to go to my backup.
Your backup.
And this one-
okay.
This one is on my radar for a long time, and this is my official proposition to the Patreon and the popular vote to a lesser extent. You know, we're not going to like all the states, but for those little ones that are either too red or too blue, you know, you're here. You can participate.
Yeah, you've got TVs probably. You can still get my message. It's just I'm not really talking about you.
All candidates should be required to podcast their entire platform. And they have to do it live. I don't want any editing. So
I might actually listen to that if they did that. All right, Ben.
This pick is, I think it's going to get you because
Oh,
it's a
jeez.
horror book. I think you're going to be
dear.
annoyed at having to do one more horror book. But I'm sweetening the pot for you.
Oh dear.
I am suggesting Camp Damascus by Dr. Chuck Tingle. His first book by a major publisher.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
is-
And the cover actually looks professional too. It doesn't look
It
like all
is-
the other covers where it's like they went into like Google to find some copyright-free images and then just MS Paint cut.
For those of you who might not know who Dr. Chuck Tingle is,
Okay, first of all, Doctor? Are you real?
I think he's started putting doctor on some of his stuff. I mean, I don't know. He's a guy who wears like a paper bag in public. I don't know what his deal is. And I don't want to. I don't need to. That's part of the fun of Chuck Tingle. So Chuck Tingle is, I think he's most famous for writing Pounded in the Butt by My Own Butt. And then he wrote Pounded in
by
the
my
Butt.
handsome sentient library card who seems otherworldly but in reality is just a natural part of the priceless resources our library system provides.
He has now most of these are not like books. Most of these are like 30 pages or so. They're short stories he puts on Kindle. I don't know if they're on other places. If they are, that's probably where you should go because it's not really worth. Kindle like forces you to charge $2.99 now for something.
Wow, really?
And I don't know, but he's charging $2.99, so I don't know. You can get them in collections though. They're funny.
Sound funny.
This book is his
Edenverse,
first.
by the way, is still just $0.99, Ben.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So Chuck Tingle, this is his first book that is not a parody gay romance. Or he mostly focuses on gay romance comedy, but also there I don't know, there's like an asexual one. there was a bunch of them. A platonic one, I think. And this is his first, I don't want to say legitimate, but like his first straightforward, traditionally published novel. It is a horror story. It is about a gay conversion camp.
I was about to say, did you want to read that description? You don't have to, but that's what caught my eye just now.
Which description?
the book's description on Amazon?
I wasn't looking on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I'll read the Amazon description to you. Perhaps my dulcet tones will sway the vote. Chuck Tingle, Camp Damascus.
His picture is great. It is a bag over his head. Looks like an Amazon bag.
So, from beloved internet icon Chuck Tingle, Camp Damascus is a searing and earnest horror debut about the demons the queer community faces in America, the price of keeping secrets, and finding the courage to burn it all down. Welcome to Neverton, Montana, home to a God-fearing community with a heart of gold. Nestled high up in the mountains is Camp Damascus, the self-proclaimed most effective gay conversion camp in the country. Here, a life free from sin awaits, but the secret behind that success is anything but holy, and they'll scare you straight to hell. This has had quotes from N.K. Jemisin. A genuine.
No.
No. I'm liking the 5th season. I don't really know what your problem is. A genuinely terrifying nightmare, but it ain't the monsters you got to be afraid of. Chuck Tingle is absolutely the best guide through this level of hell. So I suspect that Chuck Tingle is actually, a pretty good writer, even outside of the parody comedy stuff he's been doing in the past. I think this will be a really good book. I think it's going to wind up dealing with the very real horrors of gay conversion therapy. It is torture. I was going to say it's essentially torture, but it is torture. And I think people are going to get something out of it. I'm kind of hoping it ends in actually burning it all down. I think that would be great. But even if it doesn't, I bet there are going to be parts of it that are absolutely miserable. And I think even though it's horror and that kind of belongs in October, I think this might be a good fit for the November of our discontent. It'll definitely make you think of a real life phenomenon that is going on, that people are going through, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
And I also think that with Chuck Tingle at the helm, Chad Dingleton probably would enjoy it as well, whoever he may actually be in reality. So I took the high road. I chose a book that I think Words About Books will have a really good time talking about. I think it'll be a ray of, not a ray of sunshine, but like that one sunbeam that breaks through a gray cloud on an overcast day.
I don't think that's what Words About Books is really about, Ben. I think you missed the point entirely. And
well, I'm banking on the voters disagreeing with you on what Words About Books is about. I'm thinking our voters are some of the most intelligent, sensitive, empathetic.
Well, while your head is up there, can you take a look at my prostate? Daddy fears the cane skirt.
And I think they know that this podcast is more than just a vehicle for you to try to annoy me for cheap laughs. You got to earn those laughs.
Counterpoint. It was really funny making you read Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Counterpoint. It only works because we don't do it all the time.
Yeah. We haven't done it lately.
Just recently had Bridget Jones' Diary.
It seems like a long time ago. That was like weeks in the past, Ben. Besides...
and at what point do I have to read Captain Underpants? And I'm just saying, there's plenty more Annoy Ben content in the future. You all know that Nate is just going to use his picks to annoy me. So don't throw away your vote on a gag pick. That's what I'm saying. Vote Ben, vote Chuck Tingle, vote Camp Damascus.
All right, now that Ben's horrible time is over, I want to go to a real both author and visionary and dreamweaver plus actor.
Okay.
Here's the opening, in fact. The first words I've ever heard from this genius of a man. It's a quote from one of his books, Ben.
I gathered you're really, like, drawing this out.
Something was pouring from his mouth. He examined his sleeve. Blood? Blood. Crimson copper smelling blood. His blood. Blood! Blood. And bits of sick.
So he's
Now,
British. He called it
You might
sick.
know. You might know, Ben, or maybe you don't, about Garth Marenghi.
I don't.
Okay. Well, he
Is that a
wrote,
real
directed,
person?
and starred in Dark Place. But it was
He
too
sounds
ahead
like
of
a
its
Sith
time,
Lord.
Ben. Too ahead of its time. Yeah. Early 90s. Finally
Okay.
got aired, Ben. And now we can also read one of his amazing books. Garth Marenghi's Terror Tome. Yeah, see, I also went with a horror book, Ben. Let me just read this glorious description here.
Okay.
When horror writer Nick Steen gets sucked into a cursed typewriter by the terrifying Typeface, Dark Lord of the Prolix, the hellish visions inside his head are unleashed for real. That's emphasized. Very important. Forced to fight his escaping imagination, now leaking out of his own brain. Nick must defend the town of Stockford from his own fictional horrors, including avascular necrosis-obsessed serial killer Nelson Strain and Nick's dreaded throppleganger, the Dark Third. Can he and Roz, his frequently incorrect female editor, hunt down these incarnate denizens of Nick's rampaging imaginata before they destroy Stockford, Outer Stockford, and possibly slightly further? From the twisted genius of horror master Garth Marenghi, Frightener Man, Dark Scribe, Doom Sage, plus Banshee, come 3 dark tales from his long-lost multi-volume epic, Terror Tome. Can a brain leak? Yes, it can. So I decided to go with this book, Ben, as I am a fan of Dark Place. And I think anyone should look that up because they're all available on YouTube. And then, once they see the brilliance that's on display here, this is no contest. It's a no-brainer. A no-leaky brainer, if you would, Ben.
So you're banking. Okay. Hang on. So you're banking all of your stuff on a guy who made movies. Oh, wait, is this the dude from the IT crowd? He is British. I do like that guy from the IT crowd. I don't know any of the other people.
There are 2 of them from the IT crowd.
Oh, you know what? I think I have seen this Garth Marenghi person before. Okay.
So.
Well, here's the thing, Nate. We're not words about movies.
We're going to talk about James Bond. It's a very popular book series, but have you read any of the James Bond books? Because I haven't.
Me either, no.
Adaptation of the book perspective. I thought it was about the best adaptation I could have asked for. First access pass to the Dune movie.
All right, so you want to talk about Game of Thrones, the TV series, real quick.
We're talking about Dune from the BBC. That was my British accent. We're not words about failed 90s sitcoms, okay? We're not words about movies.
Yeah,
We're words
those
about
were
books.
just the adaptation. He
We're not words
became a
about
famous
movies.
author first, Ben.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I know. It's because you're uncultured.
I know every
This is
author
why-
in the world.
This is why we need to vote this in, because you don't know him. You're clearly uncultured swine, and you need to be educated.
So
It's like
for
you didn't hear about Dr. Cecil H.H. Mills despite the fact that he had written so much before the Ghost
am
Adventures Club.
99% sure I told you about Dr. Cecil H.H. Mills, and that I'm the one who suggested we do that book.
I'm pretty sure that didn't happen because I'm pretty sure I saw that on YouTube, Ben. Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
Maybe you shouldn't
Dr.
go
Cecil,
to YouTube for your books.
Dr. Cecil is related to a famous YouTube man. Or did you not
That's
know that
true.
either, Ben?
I did. Yes, I know he's related to Aaron Hansen distantly.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he's his mother's brother, but still. Okay, so second thing that's wrong with your whole point. What about this speaks to our discontent? What
It
about
speaks
this
to possibly your
is
discontent, Ben.
November-ish? But I just admitted I like the IT crowd.
Yeah, but this isn't the IT crowd. This isn't words
might as
about
well be.
movies, as you said, Ben.
I'm looking at half of the IT crowd right now, so it might as well be.
Yeah,
Nathaniel?
wow, Ben. Oh,
I'm
so half of
expecting
something is now a
some-
whole something now. Huh. I see how it is.
Yeah, a part of me is me. That's from Ghost. So
So are you saying that? Are you saying that Nick Steen
I'm saying you-
is the same as his Throppelganger? Because I would disagree, Ben, and I think that you
think-
need to read this book to educate yourself on such ignorant and disgusting takes. And if we have any Throppelgangers in our Patreon, I think you just lost the Throppelganger vote, Ben.
How much of this is about you getting to say something that sounds like the word thruple a few more times?
None of it. Because I prefer
Really?
saying polycule over and over again instead of thruple.
Throppelganger seems to have infiltrated your leaking brain just fine.
Yeah. And that's why we
I
gotta
don't
read
think
this
this-
book to figure out how to get rid of him.
So this should be disqualified outright. You shouldn't even be allowed to run. You should be in jail like Donald Trump. A vote for Nathaniel is a vote to free Donald Trump.
Wow, Ben. Wow.
You stole the documents from the White House. You sabotaged the election in Georgia. You did all that stuff. And
All
and
that
now you're
stuff. You don't even
suggesting-
know. You don't even know.
There's so much. There's so many of your crimes. Who can keep track? I'm just gonna Photoshop Chad Dingleton with his arm around Donald Trump.
How do you know
no,
that?
no.
How do you know that Chuck Tingle isn't Donald Trump? We've never seen him in public, Ben. How do you know that we're not going to read a Trump book? You don't. That's right.
Because
Maybe that is.
I've
Trump's-
skimmed The Art of the Deal, and their writing styles are nothing alike.
Oh wow! So you've read Trump. What if it's his Throppelganger, Ben? Huh?
Well, it was his ghostwriter, so there's that. So my thing is, you're picking a comedy. What if I don't hate this? Why do you think I'll hate this? Why do you think this will make me?
First of all,
discontent?
Ben, because you hate fun. You hate joy. You hate anything that's like even remotely pleasurable. Like you just no sell everything. Just it's always just blank. Nothing happens. You know what? I hope you do like it, Ben. I hope you do secretly like it, because then I'm doing you a favor. I'm giving you the gift of laughter during the November of our discontent. And then you know what? That will discontent me. So there will still be discontent, Ben. And
I don't think
I
you'll
will
be
have
discontent
also-
because if I like it, you'll still just interrupt me all the time.
yeah, that's how we do things. That's the Words About Books experience.
Because that's
That's not the Words About Books experience that I want.
Well, it stopped being about what you wanted a long time ago, Ben.
And I don't think that's what the voters want. I think I'm the only person on this podcast thinking about the listener. I think Nate is all about Nate and his weird vendetta against me. I don't know. I'm sorry I no-sold the Arby's thing. Arby's is gross.
You should be sorry.
I'm glad they were out of roast beef. They should be out of roast beef. Their roast beef is a crime against humanity. Another crime which you have implicated yourself in, sir. And so I say
There
to
you
the
go,
voter,
just pinning fake crimes on me.
Oh, is it fake news? Okay, I'm sorry. Did your buddy Donald Trump teach you that one? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, your
So-
buddy Chuck Tingle did.
I would be honored if Chuck Tingle were my buddy.
Yeah, because you like Donald Trump, and we've already established that's who that is under that bag.
I don't think that's who that is under that bag. Chuck Tingle does not look 6'3", 215 pounds.
He photoshopped it, Ben. It's very obvious.
Did you see that Trump lied about his weight?
No, I try to
They
avoid
asked
everything
when
about
they took
him.
his mugshot. They asked him for his height and weight, and he said 6'3", 215 pounds, which is the exact measurements of the guy who plays Thor.
Wow, that's impressive. I didn't realize he was that tall or that thin because
He's tall. I'll give him the height, but he
He sure
ain't that
looks
thin.
like just a big wrinkly walrus man or something. It's just blubber everywhere.
Well, I've never looked at him as closely as you have, but yeah, I just feel like you're, I tried to pick a good book for the fans, for the listeners, for the
I
people,
picked a
the
good
troops,
book.
the flag.
Yeah, I'll
flag
stand
troops.
by it. Yeah, we're gonna be reading a book by a genius, a dream weaver, a visionary, Ben.
Chuck Tingle does not need to describe himself as a bunch of fancy things. Chuck Tingle's
Because most of his stuff is
reputation
about
speaks
getting
for
pounded
himself.
in the butt by other things.
Well, I'm waiting for your point.
Pounded in the butt by a horror monster. That's what you're gonna try and subject people to, Ben.
Would that discontent them?
I don't know. Do they want to be discontented? You keep going back to this theme, Ben. There's a lot of ways you can go around it. This is where you're like, I'm thinking of the listener. You're trying to make the listener depressed, Ben.
The listener
I'm-
wants to be depressed
I'm-
in November. The listener
well,
is
guess what? The
depressed
voting
in
will
November.
reflect that. Do you want to be depressed and sad? Then you can vote for Ben. But if you want to be filled with joy and maybe get like 1 week of not misery, you vote for me.
I think that
Senate Minority Leader
Ben from Words About Books.
appears to have frozen up again.
there are times for joy and there are times for sorrow.
Yeah. And after October, we've already had all the sorrow that we need. What we need is something to balance it out. And you're
I was gonna pick
proposing the opposite.
if I wanted funny, I would have stayed with the Donner Party.
Yeah.
But
you
I
didn't,
decided
'cause
to
you
take
couldn't
this
find-
seriously.
You couldn't find something that was less than 1,000 pages, Ben.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you've made it this far into the episode and this is what you like and this is what you're about, go ahead and vote for Nate.
Yeah.
But if you don't want any more pointless fighting, if you want to get down to the serious business of literature on this podcast,
Yeah, this is words about books, not words about literature.
if you want to get down to the serious topic of literature on this podcast, you need to vote Chuck Tingle.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. You know why, Ben? Because we're going to be reading and discussing literature when we go over Brave New World. And guess what? It's fucking boring.
And you know whose idea it was to do more school books? It was Nate's idea.
Yeah. You know
Yeah, he
who
didn't pick the
had
book.
you know
He
who
picked
had
the
the
theme.
ability to veto? It was Ben. Ben could have stopped me. Ben could
I
have stopped
didn't
me, but
veto.
instead he cowered because it was the political move. He's just another politician. He's trying to make this all my fault, but he had the ability to step in and do something. And by the way, Brave New World was your book pick, Ben.
Because I'd already read it, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't have to work as hard that month.
See, there you go. That's why we should make Ben work hard. You know how? By voting for me. Because if you vote for me, Ben's going to read the other book anyway. This way, we make him read
that's
2
true.
books. We make him read 2 books.
That's a valid point. I am going to read the Chuck Tingle book regardless. But you know what I can do? I might read the book. I might read a lot of books. And I might withhold my thoughts on that book forever if you do not vote for it right now.
We can get him
You
later.
may never. And No, you can't get me later. You can't
Once
get me later.
once you
know
vote
what I
me
know?
in, I'll put my own Supreme Court picks in there, and I'll just dictate the law, and I'll make it so that Ben has to divulge his thoughts.
So, I'm saying, I know most of you do not read the books. I know that because I have
Wow.
gotten requests from many of you asking me to read a book that you want to read, but you don't want to read it. You
Wow.
want to know what happens in the book, but you don't want to read it. So you ask me to read it for you. And I'm okay with that. But now I'm leveraging that power. If you ever want to know what is in Chuck Tingle's magnum opus, you need to vote for Ben.
Ben is in fact lying. He is not okay with that. He hates that. He wants you to read along with us.
But I can withhold that as long as it takes.
Yeah. Or we can just get you later. I
You're
bet
not
we
gonna get me
will.
later.
I bet we will.
You're not.
You're
not
gonna
get me
crack,
later.
Ben. You crack all the time on this kind of stuff. You already talked about Babel, and then you're like, hey, we're gonna read that next year anyway. Yeah, we'll get you next year. I'm sure we'll talk about Chuck Tingle next year if we don't vote for you this year, Ben. That's just how it works.
That's a gamble.
Yeah.
Is that a gamble the reader is willing to take?
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
book, by the way, this book, this is a 2023 new release. This book just came out. You,
Yeah.
the listener, could be on the cutting edge of book science if you just vote Ben.
Yeah,
I would like
but
to point out, you didn't know about that book until I told you about it.
I knew about it.
I told you about it.
I
Because I follow him on TikTok.
Ben's not even picking his own
that's what I
books
learned
over
about
here.
it.
The scandal.
You learned it from me.
don't you try to introduce scandal into
oh,
my debate.
the
Vote
scandal!
shot. I
Oh
know
my
why.
god!
Get out of here. Get out of my studio.
Also, my book pick came out in 2022 in November. We'll be reading it almost 1 year to the day. Yeah, think about that, Ben.
Old news. Books don't last more than a year. Look at Brave New World. That book was once considered amazing.
Yeah,
Every year
and
it just
now
got a little
everyone
worse.
Everyone has to read it in school. So what I'm saying is, we could get Garth Marenghi's Terratome in schools. I bet it's also got a pretty awesome Audible narrator, Ben.
You'd probably have
Because
an easier
he's
time
a
getting it into Florida schools than you would my book.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
Is that a good thing, though? Is that a good thing, though? You want to be like
I mean,
Florida? You wanna
I
be
mean,
like
I don't
Florida?
think either book is getting into a Florida school. I think they just banned all books. See,
I don't
my
think,
book
yeah, I
is
don't think they can read.
yeah, exactly. And there you go. If any of you are from Florida, Ben's calling you out. Vote for me. Oh, I'm
you're for-
kidding. Your state sucks and you ruined the 2000 election. Go fuck yourselves.
Hey,
There you
if you're
go.
from Florida and you didn't vote for DeSantis, you're one of the good ones. Just like if you're from Florida and you vote Ben, I'm okay with you.
Yeah, that sounds like something that someone who's the red candidate would say, Ben.
What if I tell you I'm not lowering your taxes. The Patreon fees stay the same. So I guess that makes me a Democrat. I will tax the shit out of you. Or what I could do is to win this election, I could lower the taxes, I could lower the Patreon fees for this month, and then put in like very fine print that they go right back up the next month.
And you get charged double next month.
And you get charged double next month. And you know what? In fact, they're just going up in general. Inflation, you know, we didn't raise our prices for inflation, but books cost more. So, you know, it's just a liberty tax.
Yeah, look at this guy. I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards. Garth is one of the few people you'll meet who has written more books than he's read. I do not say that lightly.
Just okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So do you want a depressing horror book, or do you want a fun, hilarious horror book?
A depressing horror book, really, from the author of Trans Wizard Harriet Porbor and the bad boy Parasaurolophus.
Yeah, you heard me. You heard what I said.
The author of Buttception. Go on, try not to laugh. Try not to laugh at Chuck Tingle's legendary wit.
Quit.
Wit. That's how fancy people say it.
Yeah, there you go again. You're alienating the working class man and woman by saying literature, and you're saying wit. I see what you're doing there. You're elitist,
Oh, and
Ben.
the champion of the blue collar worker in his 4-bedroom house. That's not even the only lot he owns.
I couldn't hear you, Ben. You know why? Because you were in the fucking attic when you were shouting that into the microphone.
I was in the attic because I use it for storage like the common man. I don't have your
I don't
fancy
think the-
storage
I don't
lockers.
I don't think the
and your
common
fancy
man uses their
bookshelves.
attic, Ben.
The common
I've
man.
never
If
seen
you use
anyone's
your attic for storage,
except for one
vote
time.
Ben. If you use your attic for storage, vote Ben.
If you don't, vote for Nate. And then vote for Nate anyway, even if you do. Because
If
it's
you
the right
don't,
decision.
I want you to vote for Nate. Go
Ooh.
ahead.
Oh, there you go. See, if I'm elected, I'll be a president for all the people instead of just the people who voted for me, Ben.
This is just classic Nathaniel Creed anti-attic propaganda. You know what he uses his attic for? He uses it for airflow.
Yeah.
Well, he has the time and energy to worry about airflow because of his privilege.
See, Ben's over
If
here
you
suggesting horror books, but he's just going up into the attic. Yeah, something's not right there. Something's
if
off.
you read horror books, you won't be able to. I mean, wait.
Yeah.
Thinking with my brain.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
if
You're
you-
leaking brain, Ben. You need the cure to that, and that's in the book I'm suggesting.
If you read more horror books, you too can use your attic for storage. I guess either way, you're kind of reading a horror book. We kind of you really threw me for a loop on that one. I didn't think you'd do that.
Yeah, that's right. I've destroyed your entire platform. You're welcome, Ben.
How many times have we picked a comedy book on this podcast?
Yeah, and sometimes it's really funny and insightful. You remember A Dirty
Such
Job, Ben?
as...
Do you remember
I do.
A Dirty Job?
Is this the one you wanted to go with?
Yeah, because that one was
Because you can't use
awful.
Bruce Campbell because season 1 doesn't exist.
Yeah, that season 1 does not exist. You're right. So what
But
you're
that was the
saying
only
is,
good comedy book we've ever read on this podcast.
so what you're saying is we need. That's not true. Spy Family, Ben.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
but that was a graphic novel. What you're suggesting is not a graphic novel.
So what
you
you're
are suggesting
and
a
Ghost
wordy
Hunters
novel.
Adventure Club, Ben. I can't believe that
Okay,
you would
yeah,
even
no,
say
that
that.
was- okay,
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you Ben over here is making arguments, and then he's losing his own arguments. It's crazy how he keeps doing that.
I think at a bare minimum, we are maybe tied on good versus. We have a 50% win rate.
Yeah,
on
and that's why
comedy
we need
books.
to tip that scale. No one likes a draw. We need a winner. Okay?
But
and so we
there
pick
is
this book
nothing-
right here. We'll get a winner. Either it's going to be an amazing book, we're all going to have fun, and that's a win, or it's a piece of crap and we shit all over it, which is also a win because now it's no longer 50-50.
Incorrect.
Checkmate,
Incorrect.
Ben.
I say that there is nothing worse than a bad comedy. Nothing worse to talk about, nothing worse to
We
read.
talked about A Dirty Job for like 3 hours, Ben.
Were you happy? Was anyone happy?
Hey, fits into the theme of the month, Ben. You're really helping my argument over here. Yeah, you're really helping my argument over here. Oh, God. Thank you, Ben, for pointing that out.
But you don't care about themes. You can't do that. Now you're actually like a real political candidate. You can't just...
So, Ben, how do we end this?
Oh, Nate doesn't even know how to end his own podcast. That's the person you're going to vote for?
Yeah.
He's going to rely on me. And he's going to have me read all the stuff because he doesn't even know what it is. He doesn't even know his own social media. Nate, name one of your passwords to anything.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I almost had you for a second, though. For those, I'm just going to tell a little Nate anecdote for those who don't know. Nate does not remember his password to anything. He doesn't know the password to any of our social media. He doesn't know the password to his blog account on Words About Books. I'm pretty sure that's why he never writes blog posts. Because I have to reset his password for him every time.
Person that you want to vote for? You want to vote for someone who's not being ableist, all right? Who's like, I'm
Ableist,
I'm
get
neurotypical. I can
just
remember all my passwords.
Does being neurodivergent prevent you from writing something down? Just shout you're not a part of this.
Ben, if I write it down, then people can steal it.
Yeah, people who have access to your desk anyway.
Yeah. I don't want them also having access to my computer.
Nate does not trust his wife and daughter.
No, I don't want my daughter getting on my socials and just, like, slamming keys. But you know what? I don't really have a whole lot of socials, Ben. That's right. Because I'm like the everyman. I don't spend all my time online.
The everyman absolutely spends all their time online. I'm just going to read you some authors here who have praise for Chuck Tingle's Camp Damascus. N.K. Jemisin, T. Kingfisher, Sarah Gailey, Ryan North. Of course you don't know who that is.
Yeah, see, there you go with your elitism again.
Fantastic. Camp Damascus is seriously good. Jenny Lawson, New York Times. They're never wrong about anything.
Yeah.
A genuinely terrifying nightmare.
Yeah, you know
I
what
already
else?
read that
You know
one.
what else is supposedly a good book? It's Ernest Cline's most recent book. It's got 5 stars on Goodreads, Ben. Yeah. They're all just paid off, Ben.
I guess I'm just going to give my closing argument.
All right. I will give you a solid... How long? 60 seconds of uninterrupted airtime?
You got to wait until this ambulance passes.
Fair. All right. Ready?
Ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
You have heard a lot of rhetoric today. You have heard a political debate. And at the end of the day, none of that matters. Nobody watches the debate. They just read the headlines the next day. So this is what your headline is. Chuck Tingle wrote a serious book, and you have a chance to hear about that on Words About Books. And if that does not get a rise out of you, if that does not Chuck Tingle, an emotional feeling inside you, then you're dead. You're dead and your vote doesn't count. That would be fraud. Thank you. I yield my time.
All right. I'm going to start 3, 2, 1. So, my opponent says that no one watches the debate because he is dead inside. Can't vote for a dead person? That would be fraud. Using his own logic against him. So, here is what you should know. Garth Marenghi, hilarious. He did Dark Place. It's the cheesiest, like, it's definitely trying to be something worse than it is. It's glorious. You have to go check that out. And then...
Not a book. It's not a book.
Wow. So Ben couldn't even give me 1 minute the way I gave him 1 minute. Is that who you want to vote for? Is that the kind of precedent we want to set? That's some real Trump level shit there. The point is, I have to come in here after the editing is done to get my 1 minute because Ben couldn't shut his mouth for 60 seconds. So here is my plea to you. Vote for my book. I can just make Chuck Tingle one of my book picks for next year and still get Ben. My book is a cheesy B-movie of a book. It could be potentially the next Ghost Hunters Adventure Club, and after an entire month of Ben's horror, melancholy bullshit, we need something to lighten the mood, and that's what I'm offering you. I should also point out this book was recommended to me by James, and the other Jamie helped with the back-to-school thing, so I'm already doing what my constituents want. And if you want that to continue, vote for Nate.
Well, listeners, the ball is in your court. This was certainly one of the many episodes of Words About Books that we've done. Let us know if you would ever like to hear anything like this again. Though, I guess that'll be a separate poll. But, but yeah. If you would like to vote in this, we will be having the Electoral College over on Patreon. That is patreon.com/WABpod. And I can already tell you right now some of the people who are going to be voting in that, but we'll save that for just a minute. There is also going to be a poll in the Words About Books Discord. The Words About Books Discord link is in the description or the show notes, wherever you got this podcast. Go ahead and join. You don't have to talk to us. If you just want to vote in the poll, you can just join, vote in the poll, leave. I'll make sure it's open to anyone. And if you want to take the trouble to, hack that and vote multiple times, then I'm flattered you care. You care more than I do.
Wow. There you
Especially
go.
if you want to vote for
trying
me.
to get Russia to be involved in the election, just like Trump.
Where are Nate's emails? He doesn't know he forgot his password. But this is the part of the episode where I need to thank some of the most beautiful, handsome, intelligent, charismatic, and quite frankly, wise people who donate an unwise amount of money to this podcast.
Wise because they will make the correct choice for Nate. And I appreciate that. But like I said, unlike Ben, I will be a president for everyone. Go on, Ben. Who do we have?
Well, if you're a president for everyone, I guess you could name them.
Okay, I will. We'll start with the tough one that Ben always struggles with. Isekai Sensei Sama. That time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime. Yeah, I said that, Ben. Yeah. I didn't forget like you have before.
I've literally never forgotten.
Yeah, you have.
Nope. Can't think of one instance.
Yeah, there you go. You admitted. See,
if I forgot, I
never.
forgot that I forgot.
That's why Ben can't be trusted. You can't vote for him because he got the dementia. But yeah, that time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcaster, Ben. So go check him out. That's the first one, Ben. Next one. Do you want me to just do them all?
I do, yeah. I would like to see that.
We've got Jamie Walker. And she has not elected to tell us that she has any project coming up. But I can tell you that she will elect based on her intelligence and her emotions, and that means she will pick me. So thank you, Jamie, in advance. I really appreciate your vote.
Based on her intelligence and not her emotions. And I think it's offensive that you would factor in emotion.
Wow, Ben. Wow. That's just your machine logic thinking. Next, we have a real author, John Bierce. And
John Bierce knows Chuck Tingles better because he's a real author. A real author would know that.
Wow, Ben. Wow. Can't believe you just I guess coerce, maybe it's not exactly blackmail, but you're definitely putting him in a corner. I don't think he appreciates that. I'm not going to talk for him though. I'm just going to say that that's crass.
I'm just saying there's one person on this podcast who has actually read your short stories, John.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
It's me.
It's me.
Also, there's one of us gave you the number one on Words About Books for the year 2021. And you will get a picture of us holding a trophy with your name on it at some point in the future. So just remember that when you're voting. And also, anyone who's still listening, go check out John Bierce's stuff. He's got his own Patreon. He does a lot better work than we do. He's got The Rack, which is an amazing book. He's got the Mage Errant series, which I believe is wrapping up. And he's got another series on the horizon. And he came on our podcast and did an interview, which was super cool of him. Go check him out. Next is the other Jamie, but no less in my eyes, okay? James Dennis Teller. And
Whose blog
he-
I have read every post.
every post. I want to fact
Well,
check
every-
on that. Oh, yeah,
every-
yeah. You're backtracking. Yeah, that's right.
Every post of the
Yeah.
last couple of years, to be
Yeah,
fair.
backtracking. Yeah. So his blog is if you want the gravy.wordpress.com. And
I'll
you
bring
do.
the biscuits. I'm
you
just saying.
want the gravy.
No one is more enthusiastic about those cereal reviews than your pal Ben.
Who ate some of that cereal with you? Or drank some of that soda with you? Just think about that. You don't have to answer out loud. Just think about that. Who got
Oh,
every
look at Nate.
who got
Nate trying
who
to
got
present
the-
himself as the kind of person you'd like to sit down and have a Juggalo juice with.
Yeah.
And I know what you're about. Yeah, they
And
said that about
also-
who they said that about George W. Bush.
They never said that about George W. Bush. That man
They
would
said you
melt
could
if
have
he
a-
came into contact with Juggalo juice, okay? No. I'm the kind of person who brings you all the Rainbow Mountain Dew flavors. You're welcome. So that's the other Jamie. Go check out his blog. And then we've got Shy. And how is Shy spelled, Ben? Is it Shy with a Y? Yeah.
It is.
I see what you did there.
I'm not even going to pander to this one. I already know who she's going to vote for.
Is it no one because she's not even gonna log on to vote?
Oh no, she'll log on for this.
Okay.
She's been watching the debate. So,
All right. Ben,
all right,
we're done.
Nate. I guess we shake hands, bow, and then touch gloves and fight.
You sure? You said it in a way that it sounded unsure.
No, I was trying to find the thing to turn my noise canceling off
Oh.
so that I could hear myself, so that I'm
Okay.
not too
You
loud.
let me know when you got
breaking.
that taken care of.
I have it taken care of now. That's why there was just a brief pause. I'm
Ah,
recording.
yeah, I
I'm
know.
recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all going in. This is good stuff.
Good. Yeah.
And by in, I mean into the episode. It's gonna be
I,
4
yeah,
hour.
what else would you mean?
Into the
Well, if-
Patreon? I don't cut gold like this though, Ben.
You know,
Yeah.
I even for the benefit of all the listeners, I have even taken my squeaky chair. I have it
Oh my
over
god.
on the other side of the room.
Hold
I'm
on, let
sitting.
me test. Nope, I'm still in my squeaky chair.
Yeah. I am sitting in a fucking folding chair.
Yeah, Editor Nate, just to let you know, Ben was creaking in his folding chair throughout this one. He just can't help himself. Oh, and you know what the problem's gonna be? You're gonna clear your throat 400 times.
Go ahead and vote for Nate. Go ahead and vote for Nate. Go ahead and vote for Nate. I want you to vote for